The aquarium hobby has a massive problem, and I'm sure that everyone who is watching this, who has ever kept fish before, would have experienced this. Right, let me give you an example of what I mean, because you probably clicked on this video thinking, what are you on about? Like, what is the big problem? Now, it's a bit difficult to explain, but I'm gonna try with an example. And the example is gonna be, think back to when you got your first ever tank. What you probably remember is that, you got maybe advice from different people, but you also saw that a lot of different people were saying different things, and so in the end you didn't really know what to do, like who was right, who to trust, whatever. So this is not mainly the problem, but there is a different problem. Because the other problem that kind of like coincides with this problem is, I'm saying problem a lot, but what I mean is that people, especially older people, now I don't want to offend anybody, but it's usually older people who maybe have had more experience or have kept fish for longer, who, claim that their way of doing things with fish is the only way. Now that is the big problem, because that's not true. Like, there is not just one way how you can keep fish. Like, there's so many different ways how you can keep fish, and there's so many ways to do different types of things. So it's just not true. And like, that is the one big thing that is ruining this aquarium hobby, is those people who say, my way is the only way and there is no other way, otherwise you fail. But that is simply just not true. I know I'm speaking from experience. I've seen this happen many times, since now I own like a fish shop, I get customers in, and sometimes these customers, it's their first time keeping fish. They haven't kept fish before, they don't know, how to keep fish or how to keep a tank or whatever. Usually they already have a tank by now, because my store, it's just small and it's usually just, fish and plants. So most people already have the tank. But I see straight away that people have gotten maybe wrong advice or advice from too many different people. And they even come to me saying like, hey, I got this person saying this, I got this other person saying this, what should I do? And it's quite difficult for me, because I usually just say to them, well, I'll tell you how I do it, but just know that's not the only way of doing things, I also disclaim that in every video pretty much that I make, especially when I'm doing like breeding videos or whatever, is like, I'll always say, this is my way, this is how I do it, it works for me, it may not work for you, you don't have to do what I do. And I think that's really important. I think many more people, including also other fish tubers, should be saying that in their video. Because with fish keeping, there isn't just one way that works for everyone. Like, there are many different ways that you can do the same thing and achieve the same thing. So it's you can't just go telling people like, oh, it's only this way, and if you don't do it this way, it's not gonna work. I'll give you an example. For example, discus breeding. I have 2 discus pair myself. I've bred them before, I've raised young successfully, and yeah, I'm a successful, well, you could say, yeah, I've successfully bred discus a couple of times. However, not everything that I did was corresponding with what the fish experts said to do. So does that mean because I still had the same results that I can't be doing it my way? Like, how does that work? And that's just one example out of thousands. I can think of thousands of things that you can do multiple ways. Like, for example, how to clean a tank. Just as simple as that, how to clean a tank. Some people will tell you all you have to do is take water out, fill it back up, and you're done. Other people will say, well, you have to also, clean the algae off and, do that first, and gravel vac and everything like that, then take water out and then fill back up. Then other people will say, no, you want to leave some algae because some of the fish like it, and if you have shrimp, they like it. You get what I mean? Like, just there's so many ways to do the same thing. And fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, I think it's fortunate, because what I like about the aquarium hobby is that it is so diverse and there is so many different ways of doing things. Like, I like that better than having something where it's just like one recipe and that's how you do it. I guess cooking food is a good example of that. Like, there is just one recipe. If you don't follow it, then you kind of mess up, right? But with fish keeping, it's definitely not like that. Like, you know, there's multiple recipes for the same result. And so I guess this is my plea or rant, or however you want to say, but definitely my plea to the people out there who are watching this is, you know, if you are a fish tuber yourself, for example, please just, you know, disclaim in your video saying, like, this is not the only way, but it's my way of doing things. And if you're someone out there who is like the type that I described in the beginning of this video, please just consider that there are other ways of doing things. And especially when you are talking to beginners, please tell them that there are also different ways of doing it, because unfortunately, what I see at least is that a lot of beginners, you know, get their first tank, they have hundreds of advice from multiple people, they look at the internet, which is mostly junk, you know, like stuff that is on the internet is mostly junk, also fish related, and the information sometimes is also not that great. And you know what happens is these people then have a tank, the tank kind of fails because they are mixing ideas from all different people, and that doesn't really work. And yeah, the tank fails, and then they think, oh, I don't like this, I'm gonna step out of the hobby, and there you go. That is a person who was potentially could have been big fish lover or enthusiast and just leaves. Now, if for example you are, you know, like I said, the type of person that I described earlier, and you're talking with other more experienced fish keepers, now that's not a big issue, because there, at least the experienced fish keeper knows to maybe look out for these things, and maybe knows that there are multiple ways of doing the same thing. So by all means, you know, don't, you know, stop these conversations. And I'm not attacking anyone personally here, by the way. This is just a general thing that I've seen, and I just wanted to make a video out of it to bring more awareness to it, you know, because I don't think a lot of people may also see this, but then don't act or like maybe get involved, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure at the fish store you've probably had that there's like a beginner, like that's usually the targets, the beginners who are wanting advice, and then they're like looking at a specific fish, and then the fish shop worker comes over, tells them a bunch of stuff, and then there's this other guy who butts in and says, no, you need to do it this way, and if you don't do it this way, it's not going to work, blah 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 blah. And exactly that is the big issue. That needs to stop, because if not, I think it is hurting this aquarium hobby. It's hurting it. And yeah, if it doesn't stop, well, who knows what will happen in the future, you know? So please, you know, I hope this video helped you in some way, shape or form. If it did, you know, drop a like, drop a comment down below as well. Do you agree with me on this? Now again, I'm not saying that I'm the only one way of this thing, you know, maybe you look differently or you think differently, you know. Let me know in the comments down below how you think about it. I'm more than happy to have a look what you guys think, and I'll respond to your comments. So yeah, let me know down below. If you agree with me or not, I don't mind. It's up to you in the end, but I just wanted to bring a bit more awareness. And also, if you do agree with me with this video, please share it out. If you are a fellow fish tuber, share this video out so that there is more awareness to this topic and to this thing that is going on. I'm not sure if this is worldwide or just where I live. I live in the Netherlands, and I do see it happen here, but I'm pretty sure that this also happens in other places of the world. But if not, also let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Of course, also watch this video next, where you can see how I think about breeding fish for profit. You know, the reality is quite brutal actually, so go watch that video. You might enjoy it. It's a similar type of video like this. So yeah, go watch that. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.